As our world has become globalization, people started doing business more internationally and also traveled to other countries. Along with this trend, people is using more and more airplanes to get their destinations, and the air transport industry became one of the most important industries around the world. So, I'm gonna talk about the analysis of some charts and the pattern of the industry. Look at this chart. This chart shows a correlation of net profit, RPK, and ASK. RPK stands for Revenue Passenger Kilometer, and ASK stands for Available Seat Kilometer. On the chart, we can see that the amount of net profit, in other words, the amount of deviation from $0, is getting larger along with the growing of RPK and ASK. The RPK and ASK have been getting larger as the aircraft technology has been more and more developed. That is why RPK and ASK is getting bigger with the time passes. RPK and ASK is also related with load factor. We can get load factor from the equation of RPK divided by ASK. The lower number of RPK and ASK means lower load factor, and the higher number of RPK and ASK means the higher load factor. We can see the relationship in the next chart. This chart shows a correlation of net margin, load factor, and break-even load factor. We can see that load factor is getting bigger like the RPK and ASK in the previous chart. It looks pretty similar. Before we analyze the chart, check the definition of the load factor and break-even load factor. Load factor is the rate of occupied seats on the aircraft, and break-even load factor is the load factor point which decides the profit loss of airlines. The amount of net margin is decided by the gap between the load factor and the break-even load factor. As you can see in this chart, mostly, if the load factor is greater than the break-even load factor, we can see the positive percent of net margin. On the contrary, the break-even load factor is greater than or closer to the load factor, the percentage of the net margin goes below 0%. We can find out from the charts that the larger gap means the bigger profit. After I finished the analysis, I found out that there is a pattern in the flow of the net margin. It has been repeating profit and loss of net margin. Governmental support fund, increasing income, terrorism, technologies, and other factors made this flow. We are now in the flourishing of air transport industry. If the future of industry follows the flow, we can expect that the industry would decline soon. We should find a way to keep this thriving industry. Thank you.